Pag-aralan ng wasto, panatiling sariwang hangin.
Why attend the basic training for pollution control officer? Bakit ba kailangan umattend ng basic training course for pollution control officer? Unang-una, ang dahilan sa legal compliance. So kung meron tayong legal compliance patungkol sa training na ito, lalong-lalo ang nakasulat sa DNR Administrative Order 2014-02. Sinasabi po dyan na dapat ang isang pollution control officer, sabi dito sa Section 6, let us read the Section 6 qualification requirements for PCOs. Item number 1, basic qualifications, and letter C, has completed the basic PCO training course by an organization or institution within the last 3 years. So pagka ang tanong ay bakit kailangan umattend ng PCO training, ay dahil doon sa nakaset na basic qualification for pollution control officer as identified in section 6 item number 1 letter C. So mahalaga yan na kinukumply kasi pagka meron kang appointed PCO as exemplified in section 7. Sabi dito sa section 7, appointment or designation of PCO, kailangan nag-a-appoint ang managing head ng company. Mag-a-appoint, mag-designate at magsisik ng accreditation. So ang bottom line, after na ma-appoint, ma-designate ang isang PCO, ang kasunod na ay accreditation. So isang dahilan naman dito na bakit kailangan umattend ay for the purpose of PCO accreditation. Bakit natin kailangan umattend ng PCO training? For the purpose of PCO accreditation. At kung babasahin natin, nakasulat sa Section 8, ito na yung accreditation of PCO. So Section 8, under ng DAO 2014-02 pa din. Anong mababasa natin dito sa Section 8, item number 1? Sabi dito sa item number 1 under Section 8, the managing head, ito na, shall submit to the concerned EMB regional office the following requirements for the accreditation of his or her PCO. Ano daw yung following requirements na yon? Letter of appointment or designation as PCO, curriculum vitae with ID picture of the appointed PCO, notarized affidavit of joint undertaking of the PCO and the managing head, proof of the appointee's qualification such as, ito na yon, certificate of training of basic PCO training. So mapapansin nyo, for the purpose of PCO accreditation, isinasubmit natin ang proof of the appointee's qualification such as certificate of training of basic PCO training. Yun yun. Yun yung sinasambit sa Section 8 for the purpose of PCO accreditation. Ang totoo, hindi lang yung appointed PCO ang pinapa-attend ng training. Nandito pa rin tayo sa section 8. Sabi dito sa baba, I read and I quote, for the managing head of establishments, 8 hours training on laws, on environmental management, covering the basic environmental laws, rules and regulations, and the duties and responsibilities of the PCO. So, sino ba itong mga managing head na ito? Kung bubuksan natin itong section 4, ang section 4 po, definition of terms. Ang managing head, sabi dito sa section 4. Ano sabi dito sa section 4? Ano ang managing head? The managing head is the highest executive officer of the establishment. Ito nakalagay dito sa letter P. So dito sa definition ng managing head, example, the president, the general manager, factory or plant manager, managing director, managing partner, chief executive officer, or local chief executive. Yan yung mga pagkakakilanlan sa managing head. At sinabi doon sa section 8, for the managing head of establishments, 8 hours training on environmental management covering the basic environmental laws, rules and regulations, and the duties and responsibilities of the PCO. So yung managing head na sinasabi nating highest executive officer shall also have an 8-hour training on environmental management. And for the purpose pa rin ito ng PCO accreditation. Kung mapapansin nyo, nasa loob ng Section 8, accreditation of PCO. Kaya naman, kung dito sa item number 1, hinahanap yung Certificate of Training of Basic PCO Training sa actual procedure pa, pag nag-apply ka ng accreditation sa EMB Regional Office, hahanapin din yung 8-hour training on environmental management intended for the managing head. So why attend the basic training for pollution control officer? Parang sinasabi natin, bakit kailangan pang umattend din ng training for the managing head, hindi na lang yung PCO? Makakasagot dyan yung ating section 9. So ay sa ating pointer number 4, in case of resignation or termination, so sabi dito, in case of resignation or termination of PCO, ano nangyayari? Basahin natin ang nakalagay sa section 9. The managing head will be the interim PCO. Okay, so lalagyan natin ng mga pointer. So basahin natin ito nasa section 9. New PCO in case of resignation or termination. So usually naman pagka nag-resign o na-terminate ang services ng PCO, magkakaroon ng replacement. So empleyado yung PCO pag nag-resign, papalitan ng empleyado din. Pero ang totoo, meron pa ditong maganda na hindi naman agad makakapagbigay ng bagong PCO kasi magkakaroon ng training pa yan bago. Kaya sinasabi dito, in section 9, I read and I quote sa second paragraph, the managing head shall immediately assume the responsibilities as interim PCO until such time that a new PCO shall have been accredited. O, yun. Ano ba ang gagawin ng isang PCO? nakasulat yan sa Section 10 ng Duties and Responsibilities of the PCO. So during the training, pag-aaralan po yung duties and responsibilities of the PCO. So kung sa tunay, mababasa mo naman nga ito sa mga guideline, iba pa din kung naituturo sa mga training. We have at least 21 duties and responsibilities of accredited PCO. Yung nakikita natin on the screen, item 1 to 21 items. So, medyo mababa yan, 21 items. So, base dito sa section 10 ng DAO 2014-02, the duties and responsibilities of the PCO. So, kailangan mo ng basic PCO training kasi malalaman mo doon ang mga duties and responsibilities. Babasa lang ako ng tatlong items. Sabi dito sa item number 1, duties and responsibilities of accredited PCO. Section 10, item number 1, together with the managing head, ensure compliance with the requirements of PD 1586, RA 6969, RA 8749, RA 9003, RA 9275. Their respective implementing rules and regulations and other pertinent rules and regulation. O kailangan daw siguruhin na 100% compliant ang company sa mga requirements ng batas. Kaya naman sa item number 3, makikita mo dito, attend to all permitting and registration requirements of the establishment prior to the construction, installation, or operation of pollution sources and control facilities. So sa duty and responsibility ng PCO, kasama ang processing ng mga permits, ang mga registration sa mga government agencies para sa construction, installation, or operation of pollution sources. Halimbawa, meron kang generator set, boiler. O halimbawa, meron kang fuel storage tank. Mga pollution sources yan. Meron kang septic tank, meron kang sewage treatment plant. At kadalasan may mga control facilities to make sure na hindi makakaapekto ang ating company sa community, lalong-lalo sa tubig at hangin. At sa mga sensitive persons, gaya ng mga bata, matatanda, sa kaya may mga medical condition na. So, kailangan mo talaga ng mga control facilities. Yung permits nito, yung registration nito sa mga government agencies, sa DNR, sa Department of Energy, sa DOLE, yun. Kailangan mong asikasuhin yan. So, sa training, napag-uusapan anong mga permits ba yan, anong mga requirements niyan. At dito sa item number 13, sabi dito, I read item number 13, promptly submit CMRs and SMRs duly accomplished and signed by the PCOs, approved and certified correct by the managing head and notarized. So pag-aaralan nyo yung reporting nito, yung reporting requirements. So maliban sa kailangan mong matutunan yung permitting, registration, and reporting requirements of the company. Siya, magandang bagay na nakaka-attend ng train dahil minsan hindi nakukuha yan sa pagbabasa. Minsan dadaanin yan sa mga workshop, dadaanin yan sa mga tanungan, doon maganda na nalalaman natin ang mga bagay na ito. Kaya magkailangan na umaattend ng basic training for pollution control officer. At sabi nga dito sa section 12, to nakalagay dito, all accredited pollution control officers shall submit SMR to the EMB regional offices on a quarterly basis. So pagka mag-sasubmit na ng report sa EMB ngayon, hindi na ngayon manual. Meron na tayong mga DNR online services. So para saan to? Sa reporting at saka sa permitting. O halimbawa, meron tayong OPMS, Online Permitting and Monitoring System. Yung ating Hazardous Waste Management System. Meron pa tayong PCO Accreditation System. Meron din tayong Company Registration System. So pagka magsasubmit ka ng report, dito yan sa CRS dumadaan. Kailangan mo matutunan ng mga ito, itong mga DNR online services. So kailangan nating umattend ng basic training for PCO para magampanan natin ang mga responsibilities natin at saka yung hinihingi ng policy na ito, yung reporting. So kaya naman kung gusto mong umattend ng basic training for pollution control officer, meron tayo sa JP Environment Consultancy Services. Nag-offer ito ng basic PCO training. Nag-offer din ng managing head training. Ang maalala nyo, ang basic PCO training, ito ay 40 hours. Yung managing head training naman ay 8 hours. So, meron ding ino-offer na basic training for hazardous waste transporter. So, pati yan, ino-offer. So, 8 hours lang din ito. So, you can contact, of course, 0998 543-5466 or 0917-360-1178 or email na lang sa jpex.training@gmail.com. So kung ikaw ay interested to join the training, the basic PCO training as exemplified in section 6, I read again, section 6, qualification requirements for PCOs. Item number 1, basic qualification. Letter C, has completed the basic PCO training course by an EMB recognized training organization or institution within the last 3 years. So kung gusto mong maging accredited PCO, umattend ka ng PCO training kasi yan yung basic qualification mo. And you can contact JP Environment Consultancy Services sa schedule nila. Na nakikita nyo naman yung contact information sa screen. So kapag naka-attend ka na ng training, malapit ka na doon sa Section 8 sa accreditation kasi kailangan mo lang naman ipasa yung mga documentary requirements among many, the Certificate of PCO Training and Certificate of Managing Head Training. So I hope you have learned something why we need to attend the basic training for pollution control officer. Una, yan ay legal compliance. Under DAO 2014-02 at ito yung revised guidelines for pollution control officer accreditation. Pangalawa, kaya ka-attend ng basic training for the purpose of PCO accreditation. Mayroong legal requirement ang company mo na kailangan meron kang appointed, designated PCO, and duly accredited by EMB. At sa section 4 nga, which is the definition of terms, ang pollution control officer as shown on the screen, letter T. Sinasabi dito, ang pollution control officer is officially accredited by Environmental Management Bureau Regional Office. So, kaya ka umaattend ng PCO training for the purpose of PCO accreditation. At hindi ka magkakaroon ng accreditation kung hindi mo may sasubmit yung mga requirements. Among many, yung sinabi sa Section 8 at item number 1, proof of appointee's qualifications such as certificate of training o basic PCO training. At dyan mo na rin malalaman yung mga duties and responsibilities of the PCO, yung permitting, registration, and reporting requirements, yung DNR online services. So all you have to do is contact JP Environment Consultancy Services sa mga schedule, basic PCO training, managing head training, mag-contact sa kanilang number as shown on the screen or sa kanilang email. So yan lamang po at I hope you have learned something today at kung meron ka pang question, you can just comment it below. Kung hindi ka pa nakakapag-subscribe dito sa ating channel, can subscribe. And of course, you can also join para po sa mga exclusive video para sa inyo. Or you can just click the button thanks dyan sa baba para sa papatuloy natin ng mga ganitong tutorial na I hope makatulong tayo sa community. Thank you very much for time listening and God bless us all.